Back with Dr. Bradley Thayer. He is a member of the Committee on the Present Danger of China, I'm very pleased to say, and an enormously impressive contributor to, well, the understanding of the challenges that we're facing from the Chinese Communist Party. And Brad, one of the greatest challenges, it seems to me, is that we have done so much as a nation over the past few decades to enrich, empower, enable, and most especially of late, embolden the Chinese regime that is, it seems absolutely clear, determined to destroy this country. That would seem to be, absurd to say nothing of monstrously outrageous on the face of it. And yet, not only has it happened in the past, it's continuing to happen today. Talk a little bit about this so called engagement program and what it is doing for and with the Chinese Communist Party that makes that danger we've just been discussing even greater.
It's a profound problem, Frank, and in many respects, it's one which is unimaginable for those of us who have, as you, obviously, with your experience in the Department of Defense and elsewhere, those of us who had any type of ties to the Cold War find this situation to be alarming and grotesque simultaneously. How our enemy could intertwine himself with American society, economics, politics, with the cooperation of the American elite in every respect business, media, academia, politics is simply unimaginable. This could have never occurred against the Soviets. It would not have occurred against our wars against the Germans, the Italians, and the Japanese in World War II. But nonetheless, here we are. What needs to be done? What needs to be done is we need to recognize explicitly that China is the enemy of the United States.
Right.
And it is the most formidable enemy that we have ever faced, given its prodigious power. This is its power was given to it essentially by the West, by allowing China into the Western economic ecosystem where it flourished, where it used its wealth to buy influence and to essentially allow its tentacles and its tendrils to influence every aspect of almost every aspect of the United States political system, economic system, financial
Yes.
system, as you have documented time and again. So, what do we need to do? Educate the American people that this is an enemy, but also, secondly, importantly, leadership is necessary to
Amen.
call attention to the fact that it is an enemy of the United States and must be dealt with as such. Thirdly, there has to be accountability. How did this happen? Who got rich
Hmm.
from this situation? How is it that they were able to profit from the rise of our enemy and assist its rise to the point where it can be a direct challenge to American national security interests abroad, but also American society at home, where China has waged chemical warfare through fentanyl and other activities, economic warfare against the United States, ideological warfare against the United States in the homeland as well as abroad. These steps are necessary to undertake in order to bring about the recognition that this threat is real, it exists, and it must be dealt with. America can defeat China, but what is necessary, first of all, to recognize that it is an enemy and to have the leadership to pull us into the right the recognition that in fact it is, and to develop the right responses and strategies to do so.
This
So
is
those are
this is
measures.
really, yeah, an important sort of program of action. But you're so right, Brad Thayer, that it starts obviously with understanding the nature of the problem you've got. But beyond that, what do we do to unwind what's been described by, among others, Peter Schweitzer in his new book Red Handed as elite capture. You've talked about it. You've talked about accountability being required. That would seem to be the minimum needed. Doesn't there have to be some cost to those who engage in this? If not those who have done so to this point, certainly anybody who persists in it. Because as far as I can tell, Brad, people like Larry Fink on Wall Street, Ray Dalio, Steve Schwartzman, and others in the financial world, their counterparts in big tech, the big box stores for that matter, are determined to continue. Some say that, well, if it's illegal, they will stop, but they are doing everything they can, part of the elite capture, as you know so well, at the bidding of the Chinese Communist Party to lobby against any action that would make it illegal to be supporting our mortal enemy, the Chinese Communist Party. So, how do you see us unwinding the elite capture problem and penalizing those who might persist in engagement in the face of what we've learned about the dangers that it entails?
We have to have leadership, Frank, and the fact that we do not have it coming from the White House, and we do not have it on Capitol Hill, we do not have it in the centers of political leadership that, in fact, should identify this threat and devise solutions to address it. Because we do not have that leadership, we have to make it.
Right.
And as you know, and as you're leading the committee's efforts, the Mad as Hell campaign are absolutely essential at calling attention to actually the individuals, BlackRock, many Vanguard. There's a host in the financial world,
Mm-hmm.
more broadly in the economic world, in our media, in academia, to call attention to the individuals who are acting willingly or unwittingly as efforts to undermine the fundamental values and political system of the United States as well as our interests. So, calling attention
You're so
to
right.
these individuals, to these groups, to the recognition that, for example, retirees, their pension funds are being used to subsidize, essentially, in essence, directly the Chinese Communist Party. An
Right.
outrageous
With
situation.
your money,
So,
folks. Brad Thayer, thanks for joining us. Come back to us again soon. I thank the rest of you for doing the same.